Hello my crafty friends, it's Krista here from Second Chance Creation. This is part 3 for the entries into my journal, and I'm going to start with entry 31 again because it did cut off in the last video in part 2. So let's do this again. I've done this a little bit different so that you can see it without me moving around too much. Entry 31 was from Lynn of Shabbylicious in the UK, and Lynn was actually on holiday at the time, and she was able to post something to me which is just fantastic. And I actually used her envelope as a part of the page to be able to strengthen a little bit, and I've actually got her letter in here that she wrote just there, and I've left it and I've just decoupaged the envelope because this journal, as you know, when I made it, this one had just a half a page and I needed a full page, so that's what I did with Lynn's entry just there. The next one is entry 32, and it's from the lovely Popsy Ribbon and Lace, and of course I've popped a card just on there. And she's from Ireland, and it is from Avril, and I've used the envelope to I decoupaged the envelope, and I used the envelope as a pocket to go back in there. And then I took the stamp off because I didn't want to waste that and cover that up. So beautiful, and I used a bit of that trim that she gifted me as well, just on the top, and then just on the bottom here, that beautiful deep burgundy trim. Now this page I've actually left blank, and the next one is from the lovely Debbie Vignola, and it's entry 33, and Debbie lives in the USA in Florida, and her entry came in this beautiful envelope, so I've just cut the envelope and popped so that I can get her, put a tag in here with the information. And because the envelope was so gorgeous, I thought I might use that on the paper, and then used a piece of one of her napkins I decoupaged over the music paper because this was the page in the book. The next one is entry 34, just down the bottom here, and it is from actually it's an Aussie entry, and it's from Rosalind Barkla, and I had this bird page, and I actually decoupaged another bird napkin over the top. I used her little envelope that she had, that it came in, and I've attached it in such a way that I've got her little note in there. And I took the stamp off the envelope to pop on there, and a little bit of rickrack that she gifted me as well. This one is entry number 35, and it's an Australian entry. And here I had a bit more room, and I was able to use two pages because I just couldn't make up my mind. And this one is from South Australia, and of course I've popped, now how did I do this? No, how did I do that? Did I just tuck that all in there? Oh, here it is. Oh dear. Okay, so I've used a napkin and decoupaged that cactus, which I think is pretty cool, and use some of the stickers and some of the rickrack. And again, I decoupaged a flower just over this little note card. And I think this is from Ruth Burr, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is from Ruth. And I usually write the name out here, but I didn't in this case. So I used a card, and I used that little paper rosette as a little tuck spot so that I can just lift that up and just pop that in there. And I made a little corner here with a from a tissue box that I cut up the corner and just popped it over the top, and and then put this in. And then I had a bit of trim, which was, of course, on this page, and I had to cut it off because it was too long. And then I decoupaged one of the napkins up on here as well. So thank you, Ruth. Entry 36 is another Australian entry from up in Queensland, from Carolyn Gron, and she gifted me with some amazing goodies here. I had this card sewn onto this page, so it's sort of like a flip card now, and I've actually decoupaged some books. It's like a hidden secret, you know. I thought that was pretty cool because I already had that on and I really didn't want to take it off. And I made a tuck spot with the stamp on an envelope just on the bottom here, and I printed it up with a bit of trim that she gifted me. And then of course her details are on the tag, and the tag just pops in there and under there just to secure it. And I decoupaged some of the flowers of the napkins that she gifted me as well for the entry. So thank you for that. Entry 37 is from Thelma, Thelma's Creation and More, and Thelma is from the USA. So here I've used because this envelope was attached, so I've used the flip out of the envelope for her card, to attach her card just there. And I decoupaged that page. I love that birdhouse, so I just had to put one in there. It'll go on the hutch as well. And then I used, you know, the stickers on off the envelope from overseas. And of course, Thelma is from Texas, USA. And also I used the postage note there as well. Now this next one is entry 38, and it's from Karen Lynn from the USA, and she sent me all these lovely stamps, and they are actually, they call them, they're all these petal pops, and she told me that they call them like smelly stamps, and you can actually, if you smell them, you can actually smell all the flavours of the lollipops. I mean, how cool is that? And underneath I've just popped her address just under there. I've used one of her sunflowers on here, and this pocket was already on the page of the journal when I made it, down the bottom with the birds, so I was able to pop in her little ACT tag just there. Took off the airmail sticker as well, and that's the end of up to 38. So what I've done is I've actually taken the third signature out, so it was separate, and I was able to get another few pages together. It'll be easier, and then I'll just sew it back in. So this is entry 39, and it's from the beautiful Connie Mills, who sees Vintage Gifts and More on YouTube. And I've made her card like a flip out so that I could use it as a page, just like that. And I decoupaged a couple of her beautiful napkins onto there as well. And her little address, just popped it on there. Even though I do have her address, I thought that was pretty cute. So that's entry 38. No, 39, that's right. And of course she's gifted me with this lovely big tag, and I think it had the trim around it. Well, I took the trim off, and this pocket was already on the page just here. So I just dollied it up with some of the trim she gifted me, popped a tag in there, and of course this is part of her napkin, and I just fussy cut it out and just popped it on the back there. Next one is entry 40, and it's another Australian entry. It's from Christine Anderson, and what I've done is, because I've got to try to use one page now because it's getting a bit close, quite thick, this journal. I've used some of her beautiful trims she gifted me, but I've used that little envelope, and what I've done is I made a flip up and decoupaged one of those butterflies on there. And then I popped a card, so once you put that up, I can put her card up, and which is tucked into this tuck spot, which was already on this page. I decoupaged that big bunch of grapes and also the scene of a chair on top of the card that was already on this page. And I used her little card to pop in there, and I used the envelope as a flip to hold it in place, just like that. This is entry 41. It's from Karen Bellinger from the US. Beautiful entry as well. I used that lovely rickrack and that beautiful trim just here, and those birds and those flowers. I just absolutely love them. And she gifted me this tiny little bag that had bits and pieces in it. Well, I used it as a tuck spot, but I've just popped on some paper, popped it on with paper clips. I really didn't want to glue it because it's so beautiful underneath, but I've got a little note in there. This next entry is entry 42, and it's from Barbara McCulloch and from the USA. Again, a beautiful card. I've attached it to the page, used one of her napkins, and you just flip it up, and I've tucked her ATC card just on there. And then on the next page, because it had all these flower diagrams on it, I actually decoupaged the bird nest and the bird. I think it's just gorgeous. That'll be going on my hutch. Next entry is entry 43, and it's from Scrapping Happy XO Crafts from Jeanette. We all know Jeanette, and amazing lady. Well, all you ladies are amazing. It just blows me away. This was just a normal book page, and I actually decoupaged various napkins on it. I put a little bit of trim on here, and I put a little bit of bling in here that she gifted me, and a tiny piece of that beautiful tatted trim that she gifted me.